tonight is not about me. It is about me. Because you know that while it's my name on the ballot, what I have believed throughout my life and throughout this campaign is that change happens when you and you all engage in the process. When you all build our grassroots movement together, express your opinions, rally your neighbors, and create a mighty progressive movement across and in so doing, we are also making history, electing the first woman in the 7th Congressional District. The first person of color in the Washington Democratic delegation. And for all my South Asians out there, the first South Asian American woman and I cannot wait to walk into the halls of Congress with this mighty movement next to me. Especially to the voters of the 7th Congressional District, thank you so much for your faith, your confidence, and your votes. So this is a tough night in some ways, and at the national level, the America we love will hopefully reject Donald Trump and the politics of demagoguery and racism and misogyny. And I am so proud to be on the same ballot as the nominee for the Democratic Party, the first woman to be our major party nominee for president, Hillary Clinton. But it is also true that we all need to take stock of this moment, and we need to consider the potential for a dramatically changed dynamic in Washington, D.C., and throughout our country should Donald Trump win. If our worst fears are realized, we will be on the defense starting tomorrow. And we will need to fight, not just for our progressive ideals, but to stop the disastrous rollback of decades of mainstream progress in this country. And we will have to defend core American values from withering and brutal attack. We will have to fight for social justice like never before. And we will have to fight to protect our very basic freedoms and rights as citizens. We will have to fight Donald Trump's campaign promises that would crash our economy into perhaps the greatest depression, campaign promises that would make enemies of our neighbors and leave an uncertain world leaderless at a very dangerous time. That is not the fight I would have chosen, but I will fight it. And I will fight it the way that we have fought the Bush administration before, the way that we fought anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant hate, and to do all of that, I will need you by my side, not just in some theoretical way, folks, but literally by my side every step of the way, because our task is not just to fight when it is convenient, but when it is absolutely urgent. And we still hold out hope that we will elect Hillary Clinton as the next president of the United States of America. And if this moment teaches us anything, it is that Washington State and our beloved Seattle and the 7th Congressional District will always show a better way. So let's just take a look at what we did here in this state. It looks like we will pass a statewide higher minimum wage and it looks like we are passing that constitutional amendment for overturning Citizens United. It looks like we have passed gun safety legislation for the second time workers in Seattle from sexual assault and harassment. So once again, brothers and sisters, Seattle shows the rest of America what progressive looks like, and the contrast could not be clearer than tonight. So,
Secretary Treasurer,
I've got a lot of thank yous to give, and you got to bear with me because that's what it takes when you have a movement. So first up, let me tell you something. We had 1,100 active volunteers. Many of you are right here in this room. And let's be clear about what we did. Collectively, you knocked on 165,000 doors. You made over 292,000 phone calls. And there are 77,900 people across this district and across the country that contributed to this campaign with an average contribution of $23. And let me tell you, we made a bet. We said if we say that we're not going to take any corporate PAC money, that regular folks who want to have this country back in our control will step up, and you did. You did through the doors, you did through the phone calls, and you did through your money. So thank you so much to all of you for what you did. And a huge shout out to the dozens of organizations and elected officials and community leaders who helped mobilize so many voters. I am incredibly proud of the amazing coalition of support that we built. A coalition that is the epitome of intersectional politics. A coalition that speaks to every single constituency in this district. A coalition that is unbelievably powerful to have at my back, at my side, and way out in front as I go into the United States Congress. So, to the over 60 labor unions, I know labor's in the house. Women's organization, to the most progressive national organizations, to the 9 legislative Democratic districts and the King County Democrats, and every sector of the community, from environmental leaders to racial justice leaders, immigrant rights leaders, LGBTQ leaders. Thank you for this victory. It belongs to all of us. You know that this work takes an incredible team, and my thanks would simply not be complete without lifting up our remarkable campaign staff. First, to a truly remarkable campaign manager, Aaron. He packed up his car. He packed up his car, and he moved from Ohio so that he could run this campaign. And he has run the best damn campaign I've ever seen. To my dear compañero for justice for so many years, David dropped everything. So David dropped everything so that he could come and run this campaign, and I told him to keep taking my calls so that he can keep doing that, so that we can keep winning justice. Si se puede, my friend. Danielle Folks, who has logged thousands of She has done every single role in this campaign. My incredible finance team, Raven McShane, Angela Mata, Matt you helped us with it. To the most remarkable organizing team, Lee, Hamdi, Sarah, Dan. And to our communications director, Todd Preet. And finally, my deepest thanks go to my incredible husband, Steve Williamson, without whom I simply could not have done this. My sons, Janik and Michael, who give me so much hope for the future and are the reason we do what we do. my parents in India who sacrificed so much to let me be here, my sister Sushila, who has been a role model and an inspiration, and my niece and nephew Josh and Tara, who are here with us tonight. Nothing means more to me than having your support, your confidence, and your faith. I love you very much.
Say happy.
And please also join me in thanking Congressman Jim McDermott for his inspired service to our community, for always standing up for what's right and for never backing down from a fight. It was Congressman McDermott who inspired me in the days after 9/11 to start Hate-Free Zone, to fight intolerance and take on the Bush administration, and his courage and conviction are a model to each one of us, a model that I hope to emulate as I accept the challenge of serving as your next Congresswoman. And you know, this race hasn't been called, but we've got a 14-point lead. So let me say, in the heat of a campaign, you don't often get to talk about the accomplishments of your competitors. But I want to take a moment to talk about Representative Brady Walkinshaw. I admire Brady's courage and his commitment to our community. He is a tireless fighter who in a very short period of time made a big difference on issues like emergency mental health services and the opioid epidemic. And in doing so, he has impacted real lives and helped real people throughout the city and the state. I honor his service, and I hope that Seattle continues to have the benefit of his participation. So let's give it up for Brady Walkinshaw. And to those who might be watching out there who rallied behind Representative Walkinshaw, I want to thank them for engaging in our democracy. It is incredibly important that we have choices. The fact is that this was never a contest of opposing dialogues or divergent worldviews, and the small gulf that arose among like-minded Democrats in progressive Seattle is nothing compared to the huge chasm that divides our nation right now. So I look forward to earning their support because we have important work to do. So, while the campaign may be over, our movement has to now turn our focus to pushing for progressive action in a Congress that is captured by special interests and potentially an entire government structure, from the White House to federal agencies to the House, Senate, and Supreme Court, that may be hostile to our cause. And the kind of change that we seek won't come easily or quickly, because it isn't just about changing policies. You know that, right? It is not just about changing policies. It is about changing our politics from one that is transactional to one that is transformational. A transformational politics that allows all of us to be lifted up together and that proudly takes care of those amongst us who need it the most. A transformational politics that sees the world through a lens of generosity and abundance and not scarcity and fear. A transformational politics that believes that we all have talents and gifts to offer, and the task at hand is to pass policies that leverage what we all have to offer so that we can live our lives to our fullest potential. Transformational politics, brothers and sisters, requires that all of us remember that there is a moral arc of the universe, but that it is long. And as Dr. King said, it does bend towards justice, but it bends more quickly when our hands are collectively applied to it. The reality is, and we're seeing it playing out tonight, that the presidential election engaged a very challenging conversation in this country that we have to continue. And it's an anxiety about futures that need our close attention, a listening that requires all of our ears, and a healing that we are all longing to embark on. But we cannot ignore that our country is riven by race, class, and gender. Our country is becoming more and more diverse, but our politics has not kept pace.
No.
But we cannot afford to allow the comfort of complacency and a fear of the other to overtake the need to address institutional, social, racial, and educational and economic opportunities. So you have heard me say, you're going to be able to say it with me pretty soon. You have heard me say that I am not a woman on Monday, an immigrant on Tuesday, a mom on Wednesday, and a worker on Thursday. I am all of those things all of the time. Because we understand that at the core we can never be successful unless we come together. That labor rights are immigrant rights. That environmental rights are public health rights. That our movements for economic, social, and racial justice are deeply intertwined. And we cannot address sexism if we don't also address racism. Won't address racism if we don't also address income inequality. And we cannot address income inequality if we don't also acknowledge that it is all of those whose status is not equal. The homeless, the mentally ill, undocumented immigrants, Muslim refugees, women of color, transgender individuals, those with disabilities.